What are the things besides education, besides looking in a mirror every month, that you can do to get in front of pelvic floor weakness?
So I think the first thing you might chuckle at this is I want people to pay attention how they're peeing and pooping
Oh, good. Let's
because
talk.
yeah, okay. Because it's something we do every day, several times a day. And if we're not doing it properly, it actually can contribute to pelvic floor issues. So when we talk about urination, what's normal to go is 6 to 8 times a day, maybe about every 2 to 4 hours during the day. If you're a person who's going to the bathroom every time you leave the house, every time you get somewhere, every time you go in bed, every time you get out of bed, every time you leave the gym, you're training your bladder to have more urgency and frequency, and that's going to contribute to overactive bladder. So I tell folks only go when you have the urge to go, and also don't delay the urge. There are people who don't like to pee in public, or if you're in a surgery, you have to delay the urge to go. I really recommend going when you have the urge to go.
So
And then
holding
when
it
you
is a
do,
no-go, is a
holding it as a
no-no.
no-go. And this is for all the doctors out there, because doctors and nurses, and teachers, because I know that y'all are in situations where you can't just walk away.
Right.
But when you do pee, sit down. Don't hover over the toilet. That's going to help your muscles relax better. And don't push. Don't push when you pee. I think
Oh,
so. Yeah. Just say no to power peeing, because this weakens your pelvic floor and leads to incomplete bladder emptying. And if you're doing this 6 to 8 times a day, every day,
that's a lot of
just that
training.
simple task could weaken you and lead to prolapse. So sit, pee, breathe, don't strain, and then don't push. And then just wiggle your hips, wipe, and walk away. That's how you should pee properly.
Interesting. Why is pushing bad? Because it
Because
increases
it
the
will
pressure in the prolapse?
That's correct. It will weaken those ligaments, stretch and strain those ligaments supporting your organs, and it can weaken the pelvic floor. And it can actually lead to incomplete bladder emptying, because when you're pushing, you're not relaxing your muscles. You're actually tightening your muscles, and then you're pushing against them. So just sit and chill, and your bladder's a muscle that will push the urine out. You don't have to push.
So if you push and then you get up and then you have to go right back, that's what you're talking, incomplete bladder. And then you're feeling like you have
Correct.
to go to the bathroom. Like, I just went to the bathroom.
Correct. And then you push again
Yeah.
to get those last little drops out. And so it's
Yes.
this cycle. So I always say, just say no to power peeing. And I have so
Should
many
be a
women telling
t-shirt.
me, right. They're like, Sara, every time I pee, I think of you. And I'm like, well, great. Then I'm doing my job.
Oh my gosh. No power peeing. Okay. But there are 3 openings in our pelvic floor. What about the third one?
Pooping. So the best position to relax your pelvic floor muscles, and specifically the anal sphincter, is squatting. So when you think about when you give birth, your knees are kind of hiked up toward your chest. If you are in other countries, you squat over the ground to go to the bathroom. But because of Western toilets, we don't have that ability to squat. So getting a stool, or they call them squatty potties, or little step stools, and you put that under your feet when you're having a bowel movement, and that helps relax your pelvic floor muscles to empty better without straining. Also, exhale while you're pooping instead of straining and holding your breath, kind of blowing out like you're blowing out a bunch of birthday candles. And what you mentioned earlier, hydration, fiber, and exercise, like the 3 things that none of us are getting enough of, but those are integral towards easy, soft bowel movements, because again, straining will also weaken your pelvic floor during bowel movements.
Gosh, when you just lay it out like that, it sounds so simple, and yet nobody knows.
Right. Correct. It is so simple. And I think when people think of pelvic floor training, they're like, oh, it's another thing I'm going to have to do, or I'm so busy already. But there are these really small changes you can put into your day that have a really big impact. And the last one I'll talk about is breathing, because I think that is so integral to pelvic floor health, and we don't know how. If you have pelvic floor tension, what we find is that people are often not breathing big, deep diaphragmatic breaths. They're holding their breath, they're chest breathing. And so just putting your hands on your ribs and taking big, deep rib opening breaths relaxes your pelvic floor. But if you are lifting weights, if you are lifting something heavy, whether it's a stroller into your trunk, whether it's weights at the gym, whether it's pushing a piece of furniture, you should be exhaling with exertion, because that also prevents that pressure down that will go towards the vagina and weaken the muscles. So exhale with exertion is my third tip.